If you want to remain cool and collected during your dissertation defense, then you need to know what to expect. And we're going to talk about that right now. Hi, everybody. I'm Leigh from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia to make your best impact. Today, we're talking about what to expect during a dissertation defense. Now, you're obviously and understandably going to be anxious and nervous no matter how well prepared you are, no matter how awesome and amazing everybody thinks that your dissertation is. Still a high stress, high stakes thing to walk into, right? So part of minimizing that fear and doing well is understanding what are the different components of a dissertation defense. And what I'm going to do in this video is just a highlight and tell you just a little bit about each one. And then subsequent videos, I'm going to be going into more detail. All right. So first of all, in a dissertation defense, obviously you're the star of the show. The first thing that we're going to be doing is your defense. Now, a dissertation defense can typically take about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Your defense, how long you speak about your dissertation, right? Your presentation, that is going to be left up to your advisor and whatever the norms of your institution are. It can be 30 minutes is probably a good average, but it could be 45 minutes or more. So I would start with the 30 to 45 minute time frame. That's about how long most people get to do a dissertation defense to give that presentation. Now, when that presentation is over, your committee is going to have the floor to ask you questions. Now, in this room are going to be all your committee members, and dissertations, because they are public, are also open to anybody who wants to wander in. This is going to be friends. Some people bring family. It can be people that are interested. It can be doc students that are just starting out and want to see what a defense looks like. They may or may not have any sort of interest in your areas or background knowledge or expertise in your area, okay? If you have your committee, you have your audience. When your committee is asking you questions, and they should do so after your presentation, your advisor should set it up so that nobody's interrupting you during your actual presentation, okay? Unless it's some kind of an emergency, somebody can't see something, right? But it shouldn't be asking you content questions. After your presentation's over, the floor is open to all of your committee members. Your audience is still there, but they're not asking you any questions at this time, okay? So, and audience questions, while they can happen, they are not a priority, all right? So your committee could take the rest of the time to ask you questions, and there could be no time for audience questions. There could be 5 or 10 minutes for audience questions, okay? Audience questions follow committee questions if there is time. If there is time, then the floor is open and people from the audience, anybody from the audience can ask you a question. And yes, this did happen to me during my defense. I thought, hey, I got a bunch of my friends in this room. They're not going to ask me questions, right? They know I want to be done. And as soon as my advisor opened the floor, somebody's hand shot right up. One of my really good friends raised her hand and asked me a question, thought I would punch her in the face, right? So don't do that. Friends don't ask friends questions during their defense, okay? But just know that you might get questions from the audience, at the end for 5 or 10 minutes. And if there's not time, there's not time, okay? Then after that comes the really weird part where everybody has to leave the room because they're going to talk about you, right? So the audience leaves, you leave, everybody goes stands outside, okay? And there's another video in this series that highlights what it is that we're talking about when you leave the room and we're talking about you, what is it that we're saying, okay? So you leave the room, the committee has a discussion, you come back in, there's a decision, and everything that you need to know about revisions, how you're going to make them, how they're going to be handled, etc. So those are the big components. You have your presentation, you have committee questions. Those are the big makeup of things. If there's time, there's audience questions. You leave the room, the committee decides what needs to still be addressed, if they're satisfied with the defense, if they're satisfied with the written portion or not. Then you come back, there's the decision, and you move forward from there. So if you like that tip, you want to see more, follow me on over. Let's go to the next video.